what is it that you're different, Johnny? You're different in a beautiful way. And when I mentioned the why,
Want to know why? I'm not to cut you off, Steve. You know why I'm different? Because I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest out of all my grandmothers.
Louder, Johnny. Real loud, please.
You see, I'm the oldest out of all the children and my grandmother's grandchildren. So I got the mind frame is I got to try to lead by example. Hello?
I'm listening, Johnny. Okay, so you're going to ask you. Okay, yeah. So you got to lead by example. Johnny, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay, Steve. I'm here.
When you talk like you did just now, and I hear you perfectly, so keep talking at that volume. So, Johnny, what is this? You are doing the very best you can to try to figure out what it is that you're supposed to do with your life. Is that correct?
That is correct. Every person must have the purpose in life. I'm just trying to find my purpose in life. My purpose.
And tell me what it's like out there on the streets, Johnny. I mean, I'm very impressed with all the things that go on in your life. That you've never been in trouble yourself. You handle yourself beautifully. You're articulate. So what's it like out there in the world that you live in, Johnny? What's going on out there?
Where do I begin, Steve? Where do I begin? Well, the violence, the hustle and bustle, the things we got to go through, the obstacles, out here struggling day to day, wondering how we're going to get it, it's really hectic in inner city. But at the same time, my dad said you can't have struggle without progress.
That's a beautiful line. You can't have struggle without progress. Okay, so Johnny, what is it that you want to do with yourself right now?
Right now, I could see myself going to school for software development. That always kind of got me intrigued. Like when I see these apps like Facebook, iHeartRadio, and all that, I wonder how do they make simple software that can become so big? The capabilities, the programming, the firewall, and all that. I want to learn how to do that. That would kind of interest me. But the question was, how do I see myself? Right now, that's how I see myself. But like you said in the beginning of your show, it's a journey of 1,000 miles, but that big step is the hardest step. And that's getting up and dusting yourself off after they done pushed you down so many times.
Johnny, tell me about your education. Have you been to college?
I've been to college twice.
How far did you get?
The most, a year and a half. And then something just happened after a year.
Okay, so you went to college and dropped out twice. How far have you got? About how many credits do you have right now?
Probably like 7.
Okay. So, Johnny, the other day I was talking to you, and I made the comment, man, I bet you made good grades in high school. Do you remember what you said to me?
No, what did I say, Steve?
You said, of course. You said, of course. So, Johnny, listen, you're into your mind, and that's the reason that you connected with me, because you heard me talking about things like Napoleon Hill. And then I gave you a copy of Outwitting the Devil. So what is it about Napoleon Hill that attracts you?
It we're all unique. People is not going to understand that bit because it's too controversial, and you got to be that rare type of breed like yourself and I. You got to be ahead of your time. And that book, for it to be written in the 1930s and the 20s, when all the Great Depression and all that came about, it speaks about stuff today. But they must have figured things was going to get worse after the Depression.
Go back to the talking louder, Johnny. Johnny, you got to talk louder. I can't hardly hear you, okay? Talk loud.
Oh, I thought you heard me.
No.
You hear me?
Okay. I can just talk real loud. Feel like I'll tell you to quiet down if I need to. But Johnny, what I'm trying to get to, and I know that you're almost ready to share it with me, is we're going to come back to Napoleon Hill. But Johnny, you gave me one of the nicest compliments I've had in a long time. I gave you a copy of that book, and in the jacket of that book, I thanked you for honoring me because I wrote in there that you were my friend, and you said something to me about that. I'd like you to talk about that serious, about who are your friends and who listens to you.
Who listens to me? Who listens to me? That's the question you're asking?
Yeah. Are people listening to you, Johnny?
Not for real, not at all. They pretty much, what's the word in the urban terms they use today? They sleep on me, they doubt me. But Napoleon Hill says that's how the devil works. Once you start fearing, it turns into doubt, then he got a control over you. But you listen to me. You give me a voice, and I speak up. Now I speak up for myself now. I tell things how it should be, how it shouldn't be, and how it is. But what you gave me here was a realized piece. Outwitting the Devil, it kind of moved me in many ways because every time it talks, it comments, it always had its turn like, you ever pictured a predicament that was similar to this predicament? Yes. It's telling you how to move through things. And I would like to say this without getting emotional. You are an inspiration to me.
Johnny, I told you in the beginning of the show that you're more of an inspiration to me than I probably am to you. Because the same thing that you're trying to tell people right now, that people don't listen to you, I've got something that I've known. I've got something that I've known for years that's different, and it starts with just giving of yourself to other people. And you can't try to expect anybody to listen to you unless they know you care about them. And you and I have established that so quickly. And so what I'm here to try to do right now, Johnny, is I've established something that you're going through a life that's not really easy right now. You're 25 years old. You're exposed to a lot of things that are out there. And there's a lot more that I'm going to bring out in a minute about some of the things that you have to go through. But you just said something very, very important. You said that nobody's listening to you and that you do have a voice and that I listen to you and that I give you that voice. And I do, Johnny. Johnny, you share a telephone with your mother. Your cell phone has been misplaced or something, and so whenever I call you, I have to get your mother to get you to call me back or something. So I've been getting to know your mother. And what's very interesting here is this. Your mother is very appreciative that you and I have met. And she told me that she prayed for somebody to come into your life that you could listen to. Because many of the things that she's trying to tell you, for whatever reason, you're not able to hear it from your mother. And so I know what that means. I know what that means. And some of the stuff that your mother's trying to tell you is exactly the same thing that I'm trying to tell you. For example, let me ask you this, Johnny. Are you working right now? Do you work?
No, I do not work.
Say again?
No, I do not work.
Okay. Hey, Johnny, you've got a voice, but I want you to shout it out from the rooftops on this phone call because I'm still having a hard time hearing everything that you're saying. You just got to get that phone close to you and speak really loud the whole time here. So, Johnny, how long has it been since you've worked?
Almost a year.
Okay. Johnny, you told me something about the problem that got you is the big P. The big P. Will you explain that, please?
I'll explain it. No, it's not women. No, it's not pregnancy. It's procrastination. Over time, I used to have this mindset why I put something off what I can do tomorrow. So it led to a lot of procrastination. Then I got lazy. Then the mindset, I just lost my spark. This happened real quickly pretty much after I graduated high school. That's when Napoleon Hill comes back into play. Schools do give you knowledge, but they don't give you how to go out there and use it. So you're pretty much kind of, what's the term you use? A drifter? A person who's going on without a purpose. I can't do that. Oh, too much time didn't pass.
Let me interrupt you for a second, Johnny. Let me interrupt you. I'm going to talk about Napoleon Hill's definition of a drifter for a minute to get everybody that's listening up to speed. But please do me a favor and just try to talk way, way louder. I apologize for saying that over and over again, but I'm worried that everybody's not going to be able to hear you very clearly. So just talk a lot louder. Napoleon Hill's definition of a drifter that describes a lot of people is a person who is traveling aimlessly through life without any sense of purpose. Okay? Now, Johnny, you've been to college a couple times. You haven't worked in a year. You live with your aunt. Your mother's trying to encourage you to get employed. We haven't talked about what you asked me that you want to talk about. Johnny, this will bring back some of the things I'm trying to describe so that we can get it on the table so that I can maybe help you move forward. But Johnny, talk about health care. Talk about the health care problem that you have.
The fact that I don't have any health care? Yeah, I've been without health care for like 3 years now. That's the whole purpose, because I'm trying to work so I can try to get the health care to get to the minor eyesight problem that I have. You can hear me, Steve?
Yeah, you got go louder though, Johnny. Go louder. I hear you, but I can't hear you very well.
Well, I'm trying to get the health care back because of a little eye problem that I had. I was trying to get fixed that I found out in 2014. The doctor said they found a lot of scarring around the corneas and my retinas and around the eye area. So they said it was an infection, came from an infection. So they said if it ever progressed or came back, there's a slight chance I could probably lose my eyesight permanently. Now I have this burden on my plate with this possibility that it can. Me trying to get back health care so I can try to do it, and me trying to find a job. Now we got to try to juggle these 3 things all at one time. But other than that, I try to keep a positive mind, because like you always tell me at the end of every talk we have, as long as you have the Lord in your life, there's nothing to fear or worry about.
Johnny, you're amazing, Johnny. You're amazing. And what